Told you that I applied for Harvard for 10 times rejected. When I graduate from universities, and before for 3 years I tried to fill in the universities. So I applied jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for a police, they said, no, you're not good. KFC, when KFC came to China, come to my state, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one guy. And we went for police, 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that I received it. So to me, being turned down, rejected.
And if you want to be a successful people, an entrepreneur, remember, you need IQ, EQ, and LQ. What is LQ? LQ is Q of love. If you want to be successful, you should have EQ. Because when you have EQ, you know how to deal with people. But if you do not want to fail, you should have the IQ. IQ may not be you, your team. I learned a lot of things from movies. I learned how to make a speech from the movie called Bodyguard. When she sings the songs, I look at her, wow, that's the way that you make a speech, because I never know how to make speech, because I'm not an actor. But when I saw the movie, I say, wow, if you sing from your heart, if you sing naturally, I realized. And I learned a lot from the movie. I'm not a guy that have high IQ, but my team do have very high IQ. Where we have a lot of high IQ guys, they need people like me with good EQ things. And LQ, the Q of love, is about care for others. When you care for others, last century, the IT enable yourself.
We believe the Coke company different from the Wall Street. We believe customer number 1, employee number 2, shareholder number 3. Yeah, this is my religion. And, it's the customer that pay us the money. It's the shareholder, and the shareholder always say, I remember the day before we IPO, and a lot of people say, Jack, can I give us the shares? We were long-term shareholders.
That was the idea. So I came back to China and say I want to resign from my school. I was a teacher. I've been teaching in the university for 6 years. I invite 24 of my friends to my apartment. After 2 hours of explaining what I'm gonna do internet, and 23 of them say, forget it. He said, this thing never worked because there's no such thing called internet in the world. So why you wanna do this? The problem is that we have to find a solution that how we can be a company can live and long and healthy as long as like a Mercedes-Benz. If an industry cannot live more than 3 years, if all the companies cannot live happily for 3 years, this industry can never become the D economy. This century, the DT, the data technology, is to enable the others. So when you pay special attention to next 30 years, people who are below 30 years old, company below 30 people, please also pay special attention to women. Women care for the other people much more than men. Men care for themselves more than women.